think that I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, wait, I'm here. Who wants to fight with me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all of the belts, all of the titles. Body work, body work.
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. Man, if you're watching, there's a lot going on in boxing, and then again, it's nothing at all. It's nothing at all, man. It's nothing at all. Or there's a lot of things we can look to, man. I've been wanting to dive a little bit deeper into this story because everybody's saying that Jaron Boots Ennis is going to be looking at Virgil. So everybody's getting behind the Virgil. I said, okay, well, the fight with Karan is still up, but nobody really talking about that. Nobody really talking about it. Ain't nobody really talking about that fight. They're talking about the matchup with Virgil. So I'm like, okay, well, you're going to entertain 54. Can we rely on that with the state and how everything is? Because Oscar be talking a good game, man. You know, he be doing that thing where he'll say something and then, something to come to pass and then it'd be different, man. So I'm like, do you really? That's just like that Zepeda fight. Like, do you really? Because at the end of the day, that's who's on the other end of that. You know what I'm saying? We can include the middleman or the financiers and all that, but we don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. You might know, but we don't know. And I'm looking at it like there's a point in time where Boots is going to have to do something that's just like mind blowing. Like, he has some big, it's like people are saying this is the second coming of Roy Jones. He's in between a rock and a hard spot because people don't want to fight him. I don't know about, I hate talking about the whole money thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, man, it's almost like the Tank situation, man. It's almost like the Tank situation. I've been drawing that comparison where it's like, man, I think some of these dudes know that they're going to get tucked in, man, and they holding out, man. And what can you say? Because nowadays you take a loss, you get your ass waxed. I mean, you could have unified 3 belts. You go in there and get your ass waxed, and they're gonna say, "Oh, you need to retire." That's what these guys in today's climate are doing. So you can say what you want. These guys know that, man, you might get in there and he might tuck you in. So they're faced with, oh, well, the bag, and up the bag. And so we saw what happened with the Normans and all that. Right? We saw that. Salute, Cookie Monster. Sounding good. Body work. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we saw what happened. We saw what happened with the Normans. What matter of fact, let me do this. Because this is how the news. I'm gonna show y'all. This is how the news work nowadays. Like, watch. Let me show y'all something. Let me do this. Armstrongs. I appreciate that. I definitely do. Let me do this. It's only a clip. .47 division is no longer the glamour division, even though it is. You know what I'm saying? I just go with the flow what everybody else was saying. It's not. It's a rough, rugged. You don't know what you're going to get in this division. You don't know what you're going to get in this division. Gabriel Maestro came in and sniped Trevor the Sniper Marshall. And Trevor the Sniper Marshall, he was rising and climbing from the DMV. People act like they forgot who he was, but he was rising and climbing. He was Gabriel Maestro did that. Right? We seen Michael Fox get robbed by Gabriel Maestro, and Michael Fox from the DMV area put the boom ping pow down on Gabriel Maestro. Then we seen a rough, rugged contest between Mantis and Gabriel Maestro. But the Mantis hasn't been the most active guy in the world. All those things happen at 47, and it's a storyline. If you've been watching, said, man, what's this push to have Boots go up to 54? I said, now is the time, because when he go up to 54, if he don't have something to offer or he don't have something, he's going to be dealing with the same situation. They're going to be saying the same thing they were saying about him now. Like, well, what do he have? Like, well, he got his belt. He got emailed his belt. Like, you know, people pick and choose when they want to use that, when they want to use that one. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold that. I mean, it's whatever, man. He got it. You know what I'm saying? He went and defended it. He about to defend it again. Okay, cool. But I was saying that, man, these guys up there, man, they're going to be looking at you like, because, you know, you're a talented guy. They're going to be looking at you like, okay, well, what am I fighting for? What, just to fight Boots? Like what? For what? Just to look like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people were taking that posture. And I was saying, well, shoot, he needs some money behind him, because if he has some money behind him, because people will fight for the bread. And then I'm like, well, I mean, the bread, they must not be offers that these people just can't refuse. Like, when you got that kind of talent, you just want somebody to get in there. We are in the era where it's not like how it was before, when these guys couldn't afford to just stay out and just wait and be picky and choosy. These guys, a lot of these boxers used to have regular jobs. Like, they had to go get that bread. Like, they couldn't, I mean, yeah, they was getting paid. Like, yeah, back in the day, you'll have some exceptions to the rules, like the Sugar Ray Leonard and all that, but they had it. They could not sit back and just wait. So when it come down to Boots, I'm like, hey, listen, Eddie, man, you got to start giving these people an offer. I know it's ridiculous. I know they probably want an insane amount of money, but listen, man, you got to pay how you weigh. So my thought was, Boots, just stay at 47. If you can make that weight, since you're doing it under the IBF, you're still going, and then you a big boy, but you still doing it to where you're doing it under the IBF and you only have that 10, and you still within that window. You're still able to do it, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how hard or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? You make it look easy. You in pristine shape. Go ahead and just clean up 47 so that when you go up, they can't say anything. They can't say, oh, well, all you did was get emailed your belt and then you just, what, you fought? Who you fought? Because they'll say, name somebody on his resume that Bud can't beat, or name somebody like those, you know, whatever way you want to kind of try to depict it. Whatever strategy, whatever argument you putting out, or whatever, however, they're gonna reason that, man, it ain't enough to fight Boots, bottom line. You know what I'm saying? When you really get the siphoning and siphoning, the shit be looking and sounding kind of funny under the light, man. That's the reason why people are not saying no. But they'll harp on a time when Boots in this camp might have made a choice where, like, at that point in time, shit was different or whatever. I don't know, man. I'm not an insider. I'm just watching and paying attention. I said clean up 47 so you'll have something to offer when you go to 54. And then there was a chance where we almost got the Norman thing. Then they did the old They did this on us. They did this right here. They did the divide and conquer on us, right? So we really didn't get it. It just divided it divided the Ennises and it divided the Normans. And around that time, you know what I'm saying, Davis and Shakur, they was going through, you know what I'm saying, everything. So they did that. They kind of drove the wedge in the fans, right? But guess what we didn't get? We didn't get the unification. And even though I was looking back through there, man, in the IBF, and then the IBF says that once there's a notice, that the mandatory is the mandatory wants to fight, that makes everything after that null and void, man. You know, we were talking about this in real time, but that makes everything null and void. So it's like, man, it looked bad because the Normans, they pulled out of that fight because we were thinking, okay, well, it only makes sense if, you know, you want to hold on, make the defense, try to see if you can bring more to the table to, you know, secure something else. I don't know, but if that's your plan, that's your plan. Anyway, we get to see you in the Keyshawn fight. The next thing you know, we don't get to see you in the Keyshawn fight. So heads swivel back over there to like, dang, okay, well, it look like Boots is getting ready to get it on with, you know, he's getting ready to win that battle. So when you look back at the Norman Boots thing, they, like the Boots and them, you could probably say they won that battle because as long as his fight go through and everything goes through according to plan, they saved it. You know what I'm saying? Because he was looking kind of messy, but somehow Eddie sprinkled his magic, and we're going to get part 2, but then everybody's knocking the fact that we get a part 2, and the expectations are high. The expectations are real high for Boots. Like, they basically, everybody putting all this pressure for Boots to stop this man. I'm like, man, you don't know what Karan Chukajan could have been studying, who he could have been sparring, what he could have been doing, what he took away. Like, we don't know, man. So even though it's part 2 and people are like, well, nobody want to see that, we don't know, we still don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, we reason that Boots gonna do his thing, but you know what I'm saying, they still have to fight. That has to take place. So it was a minute ago, and I said, man, me personally, the way I look at it, man, I still have Jermell Charlo as being the guy at 54. Right, I still do. I mean, salute, Brooklyn hit, salute. So that was on, when was that? That was from October the 20th. Okay, that was October 20th. Salute his twin, salute. That was October the 20th, y'all. October 20th, right? Remember I said, is he making him an offer that he can't refuse, right? So let's look at this. Because you know how I gotta do. I gotta say what I say on the 20th, right? And then this is how I validate that what I said on the 20th is true. Because it made the news. It made the news. Boxing News 24. So it made boxing news. 147-pound champions want Big Doe to face Jaron Ennis. It say up in the upper right-hand corner, it says Jaron Ennis wants to be undisputed in 4 divisions: 147, 154, 160, and 168. Jaron Ennis to correct his mistakes in Karan Chukajan rematch. Boots Ennis chopping up a tree preparing for November 9th. Boots Ennis explains why he couldn't KO Karan Chukajan. Jaron to stay at 147 to complete undisputed gold. So that's a lot. So all of those places, you can look at all of that if you want to do that, to collect all of your information and see how you want to, whatever you want to get from that, gather from UC. And then you got Boots and his pops. You know what I'm saying? Classy guys, man. They pretty much, they setting the standard, you know what I'm saying, pretty much on that whole father-son shit. I don't care what nobody say. They setting the standard when it comes to the father and son and conduct and how to do. They setting the standard for real, for real. Ain't nobody gonna really tell y'all that, but that's the truth. Robbie Bannatyne. This was on 10/29. The champions at 147 went big dough to face IBF welterweight champ Jaron Boots Ennis for unification fights. Ennis is too dangerous, and the other champions don't want to take less than big money for a fight that they don't think they can win. And who do they have right there? Bakhram. Wasn't that kind of ironic? He popped up right there on that ad. That's kind of wild. Bakhram was right there. Anyways, Boots promoter Eddie Hearn hasn't shown the willingness to pay the champions the money they want. It costs money to set these fights up, and Boots, 32-0 with 29 knockouts, has yet to become a pay-per-view attraction. To lure these champions into taking a fight that they know they can't win, Hearn will need to overpay, and he's not shown the willingness to do that. Unless Hearn is willing to start investing money in Ennis to make these fights happen, to transform him into a star, he needs to give up on his dream of becoming an undisputed champion. When you get to the level where Jaron Ennis is at, where he's a world champion and a dangerous guy, opponents out there are going to ask for a bag, said Chris Mannix to DAZN, Boxing on X, about the problems confronting IBF 147-pound champ Jaron Boots Ennis, about his problems getting unification fights against the other welterweight champions. That's what happened with the Brian Norman situation. They wanted a pile of money if they were going to get in the ring with Boots. The same with Amantas Stanionis. The same thing with Mario Barrios. These guys know Eddie Hearn needs to make big fights for his star fighter, and they're going to demand the kind of cash accordingly. It's not just the champions know that Hearn is needy. They obviously feel that they can't win this fight, and they're not just pointing to give away their world titles for $1 million. You can't blame champions like WBO belt holder Brian Norman Jr. for wanting $2.2 million to face a talent like Ennis in his hometown of Philadelphia. You see that news tab? Shakur Stevenson wants Boots Ennis to challenge Virgil Ortiz at 54. Everybody's saying Virgil, and that's not a bad fight. Everybody would love it. Everybody would love it. Not a bad fight. It's not that the champions are asking for a king's ransom for a fight against Ennis. It's more of a case of them feeling that it's better for them to hold on to their titles and wait until His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh looks in their direction to offer them massive cash to fight on one of his Riyadh season cards. Ennis is making a low-level defense against the IBF mandatory Karan Chukasian next month in a rematch on November 9th at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. Hearn failed to negotiate a unification fight between Ennis and Norman, which is why Boots is stuck with the defense against Karen. That's what these people are writing. That's what these people are sharing now. That's what they're sharing now. That's what they're sharing. So I've been saying this, man. They're gonna want a bag, man, and I see patterns, right? I see what happened with Jermel, right? And I hear a lot of the criticisms that Boots is getting now. Like whenever somebody bring up Boots, right? They say, well, who have he fought? Then they play the resume game. Who on his resume can't such and such beat and all that and all this? What has he done other than this and this and that? I'm like, man. So he's getting that treatment when people bring him up, right? They're also criticizing much like they did Earl Spence for staying in the same weight division for too long. And you gotta think when you think about it, right? Because this is how they do it, or at least this is how they have done it. Like what they did with Jamal. They kind of aged him out, kind of stalled him out, kind of made it difficult to kind of make those fights, right? And then picked apart every opponent that he had. Because by the time he fought Hogan, people like, man, this guy, even though, some of these guys was common opponents, they used the common opponent theory, but they used it against them with the Montiel. Much like the whole David Avenusian, that was kind of, some people was using that against him, saying, oh man, look, he came off of this. It was whatever reasoning, man. Common opponent, triangle theory, it's all the same. So he's getting a lot of those criticisms. And then now the biggest thing is this whole phenomenon that people are doing when it comes to Tank. They want him to fight everybody. And now they starting to question about the money and all this. I'm like, man, I don't know. I've never heard none of these people complain about it when it comes to Tank, but I know that Boots is he's starting to draw that. Like if articles and people are echoing this stuff and putting this stuff out here and saying this, that's what it is, man. So what I'm saying is, if I'm a solution-oriented guy and I say, okay, what would be the best chess move for Boots? Right? Because you don't want to be in the division too long. And if it takes this long for you to unify with somebody and it's this money and then the whole thing with the history with the purse bid, which is we hindsight now. We after the purse bid, right? So you lost and y'all lost it. The team lost it. Eddie, whoever, they didn't get it. They recovered it. But that's in the history books now as that being an event. So for your size and the climate of boxing right now to unify, that's gotta be like, how you gonna, like right now with the other three, if it's that hard to just get one on the hook, how hard is it gonna be? And I was pushing hard for it, but I'm like, what the climate of boxing is, man, you gonna have to pay these guys a king ransom. They not looking to just jump in there with you. They not. That don't have nothing to do with no wearing no knee pads or nothing like that. It's just the reality of the matter. Why? Because if you go in there and you lose, you get knocked out. You get like, if what happened to Tim Tszyu happened and you fought and Boots did that to you, undefeated, like the fans, the fans will flop on you, man. Your fans will be gone in today's era. Well, let me keep, certain fans will. They will abandon you. So these guys want a king's ransom to get in there with these guys. They don't get no real credit for that. And it is kind of like slim pickings. So I say, I'm looking at the chessboard and I'm like, okay, if you can't do it, because fighting Virgil, what would that do? It's a fight that fans would want to see, huh? So don't get it wrong. I would see it. If they put it on, I'm gonna go see it. I'm just saying for Boots, yeah, that'll be a good name. You know what I'm saying? That'll be a great name for Boots to have on a resume. It would. As far as, and yeah, it would be legacy. Yes, it would. This will be a movie. So maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit. I might be jumping the gun just a hair. But to me, with that IBF situation, because remember, people gonna say, "Oh man, who you expect?" This, remember, this is the same thing that Devin Haney did. It's the same thing that Devin Haney did when he moved up in Fort Regis. That's how he was able to do it. That's how he was able to do it. So this is no different. It was the same thing I was saying with Sabril. I was saying, Sabril, man, go ahead and get it on with Boots. It's legacy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's legacy. It's a fight. Like, it's then people are, it's not ready. It's not this, it's that. And then, you know, Sabril take a loss and people act like he never existed. They act like he never existed, man. They act like that man never even boxed before, man. He was in there punishing people, man. Like, people was avoiding him. They act like he never existed. He said, did the guy who wrote that article realize Boots been around since Horn versus Pac, and Boots is talking 4 division undisputed? Math is not mathing. So you see the timetable. You see the timetable. And I just know how this boxing world is, man. Like, I know how this boxing world is, and in the climate we in right now. In the climate we in right now, man, you gotta, it's chess, man. And for legacy wise, you know, you got the Roy Jones comparison. You already have the knockout ratio. You 27, now remember, you 27. They acting like Tank is an old man. Oh, you 30-year-old. Yeah, you 29, about to be 38. Boots is 27. So if they talking about Tank and the things that he's been able to do and how he hasn't done anything and he ain't fought nobody. Listen. I'm gonna say this, man. I seen a channel today that said Deontay Wilder was absolutely nothing. Demetrius Andre ain't worth boo-boo. And Lomachenko is anything and everything and all things above them two, and they ain't never did. And I said, man, listen, man. This is how treacherous it is, man. Demetrius Andre might have took his little lumps and bruises. People might have overestimated a little bit on Deontay Wilder, but like to say that about them two, you got to look at the boots. You got to look at let's just say the boots. The boots he got to feel, like the shoes he got to feel, like the, you know, for what everybody, like the standard now, if them guys is absolutely nothing, he said Boo Boo is absolutely ain't not like biggest. I was like, man, listen, bro. You got to remember, man, that for a period of time, there were people actually avoiding him. Now, he made some moves. We drew the comparison with Boots. We drew the comparison with Subriel. The videos are already out there about that. Going over there and being promised to get the big fight and who was the big fight and all that. I'm like, we've been through that in that history and that timeline. So it comes down to a chess move. It comes down to a chess move, man. It's a movie, man. Russia, Apollo, like it's a movie that it could become real. It might be a little bit premature, but if the goals is to do that in all them divisions and get that done with your size, your frame, your age, like, well, we gonna be realistic, and then the way people wanting to get paid and all that, we don't know. It's a lot of things we don't know. Because we've been said it was, you know, we've been said that it was trouble in paradise. So you see how they always, anything they got to go on with Eddie, I was like, man, how long it's gonna be two men trying to wear the same pants leg. You know what I'm saying? How long two men gonna be able to share the same pants leg? I don't know how that worked. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I've been said it was trouble in paradise. We don't know how long this situation gonna be, because I don't know. You know, if I had to take a educated guess, sugar daddies don't last that long in some cases. You know what I'm saying? So this is the picture. If you're talking about going up there for Virgil, that would be a great fight. The chess move, the one that if you did this, the move that if he said, listen, after this, me and Murtazaliev gonna get it on, man. He put it in. He say him and Murtazaliev gonna get it on. He would move up. It would be a bona fide champion, even though Tim Tszyu and Boots got that belt the same exact way. Tim Tszyu had Fundora on his resume, but that was a loss to Fundora. You know, regardless how the outcome went, that was a loss to Fundora. He comes back. He don't get the Virgil. This guy, Murtazaliev, come in and do that. Murtazaliev says that he wants Fundora or Bud. He wants the winner of Fundora Spence, if that's going to go through, or Bud. He locked in. The only thing I think that would really make sense to him was that if the young guy with the skills of Roy Jones, the high knockout rate, the history and the support of everybody in Philly, would it go up there Apollo Creed style and take on the Russian, man? Because I haven't heard nobody say nothing about Murtazaliev, man. I'm almost ashamed to be like, hey, man, did y'all hear this man in the mess hall with his chest out? He did it respectfully. He was very clear. That's the move, man. That's the move. Because if you're gonna do that, man, because then that will put you right in the mix. That'll put you in the mix, Boots. This will prove everything. This will solidify everything. And if you can still make the 47 or whatever, hey, you can. You know what I'm saying? That's what pound for pound mean. You go up. If you willing to fight at 54, and you can still go to 47 because you're doing it under the IBF. Not like it can't be done. But what you got to see, Boots, is Earl Spence did all that stuff at 47, and at the end of the day, he collected 3 of them straps. You only have 1 of them. They're going to expect you to go get the other 3. People are pricing themselves out. They're playing hard to get. They're being picky and choosy about the smoke. We seen what just happened with the purse bid and all that. They matching you with Bam. That's another criticism people have, even though that's a wonderful thing. Like for a fight fan, man, you get to see Boots and Bam. You know what I'm saying? Are you kidding me? Like, man, for a fan, yes. But the critics are saying, oh man, they're gonna keep matching them. Which is, whatever they gotta do. You selling out at home. But to get these guys to go in there and fight you, when Earl Spence went and grabbed 3 and having an inactivity and then losing to the #1 pound for pound guy in the sport, you see how they treat him. For Jamel to have done what he did at 154, jump up 2 weight classes and lose to Canelo Alvarez, you see how they doing him. Right now, they are saying that Boots has yet to do anything for the sport. Like, you see how this man got on there and talked about Wilder and Boo Boo. Like, they wasn't shit. Tank ain't shit. They ain't done shit. None of these dudes is that comport. And now this guy had 40,000 people. By the time I saw it, close to 3,000 people had saw that. A chess move like this will silence everybody. You can make history. It could be a movie. It's a storyline. It's a script. Everything is there. I might be a little premature. I'm just saying you got to think about it, man, because time is ticking, and this is the proof. I'm going to show y'all some proof. This the proof. I'm not even gonna play the whole thing, but I'm gonna play the beginning so you can hear it. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I'm just gonna play the first. I think it's like 2 minutes. And I'm gonna tell you, this is what's prone to happen. I've seen this movie several times with people that have a lot more things that they can say they had on the resume and all that. And how they're getting perceived now. I'm like, man, that clock is ticking, and man, I'm telling you, man, this boxing, the times we in right now with boxing is the clock is ticking, man. This is why I've seen it. This is one of the best examples I can give you.
I don't care what people don't like. They got mad when I said I don't support Black Lives Matter. Because who they matter to? We kill each other all day. We talk about each other all day. You know who talk about me the most on the internet? Niggas. Niggas. You know what's worse than a nigga? 2 of them. Make you don't want to be a nigga. Yeah, man, it don't be nobody else talking about me. It be niggas, my own people that look like me. Talk about me like a dog. Kick me when I'm down. Can't wait. look at Gates. Went to jail, they celebrated, clapped their hands, it was happy. I don't look at color and see race no more. I see real and fake. That's it.
Welcome back. It's my y'all seen when that was? Y'all seen when that was? If you know the history and you know what was going on with Mar Charlo, bump what's going on in hindsight. That's after the age out. That's after they played keep away and they did all those games. You know, and people, it's not popular to actually put out the truth on what happened to some of these guys. Some of these guys lack the support. They get torn down. And then when they get clipped or face some kind of adversity, like take their first L, they treat them like they ain't never did anything. They use accolades and all these other things to hide behind. Say, oh man, you don't deserve this. Oh, I'm ahead of you, and I'm this ahead. They'll use pick and choose. Oh man, he's too big. Why would you expect? Like, man, he's in the same weight class. I don't know, man. I don't know. But there's a lot of people that's doing a lot of things in boxing, and boxers that they can check that they only going to use against Boots. They're only going to use against Boots. So I think that he should. I would, man. I think he might need to do that move, man. He might need to do that move, man. He might need to go ahead and do it. They saying they gonna want dough, bro. They know you on the clock. They know you a big boy. They look, man. They not. And we can believe Eddie, man, but we're gonna go through this Quran fight. I don't want to look past Quran. I don't know what he's been studying. I don't know how he's progressed. They're putting a lot of pressure on Boots. So I wouldn't be looking for Virgil, looking past this guy, because much like the 140-pound division, 154 pounds, I don't think it's as competitive because it's not as many. There's a lot of different people at 140 that can upset things. It's just the people that everybody talk about, those not they're not popular enough, or for whatever reason. 154 is about the same. It's about the same. It's some smoke. It's some Conwell smoke out there that you know, right now before the fights and looking at how Conwell is and what's and you know some of these other guys in conversation, he can kind of be used as a measuring stick to where if I mention his name and you tell me the fighter at that weight class ain't ready for him, then I'm like, nah. Then if you mention one of these other guys and you listen to whatever like that, like the rumors about the low, well, I ain't gonna say rumors, the reports about the low ball offer. Just like, cause that's like a bad matchup. That Conwell smoke, that's like a bad matchup for a lot of people, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people might be looking at that like, nah, I need more money for Conwell. You know what I'm saying? We gotta wait and see what's going on. But 154 is not one of them divisions where you can really just go up there and dip your toe. It's almost like 140 where on any given night it can go down. And I think that the power move would be Bakhram. While the heat is on, while he got all that steam, while he got all of that, listen, man, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense to me. But I'm a dreamer. I'm just saying logically it can happen, and it's a track record because people do it when they want to use that division to division stuff, one up, one down. Oh, because it was through the WBA. Oh, because it was through the they do that. So this would make sense. That's the gateway. That's the path. That's the key. That's the script. That would silence all these people that's going to sit around and wait till boots get chipped up, or they let them get a little bit older, or however they're going to try to do it. But I see some of the signs like what they do. It's not popular to talk about how they did Jamal. You know what I'm saying? How they avoided that man. You know what I'm saying? Mel, he got a fight. He pulled out. He got pulled out on. He got pulled out on. But Mel still was able to get undisputed. And they talk about Mel like a dog, like he ain't nothing. I'm like, man, y'all wild, man. He's the man for real. Outside of Bud being number one pound for pound, like that's Charlo had already shown that was his division. Like until another fight happened, you can't say that with one. Like, come on, man, because people pick and choose. But one fight moving up, that wasn't good enough. That was good. Whoever had the belt before, all this, however many divisions, they're gonna play that game, man. Because that's what, when it's all said and done, they're not gonna look at you. Look at the fact that you still up there at 147 with a 90% knockout ratio. Most fighters in general can't say that, but you in the glamour division with that, with some common opponents, with some people that done shared the ring with greatness. My whole thing is, for a long time, a lot of people were saying, you know, could they bring up Lipinets, and they, oh man, he was overblown. Lipinets ain't have no business up there. Yeah, because he was a 140, so it was a track record of some 140s that was going up. You know what I'm saying? And just as much heat I give Devin, because he always say he gonna step his toe up there for like a Barrios or somebody like that at 47. You know, they say, oh man, Blair ain't got nothing for him at 47, even though, you know, they was gunning for Broner and Blair got that first. You know, they say that. And I give Devin a lot of heat because I'm like, well, shoot, if you're going to go to 47, which is your weight class, you know what I'm saying, which is really your weight class, if we being honest, him and Ryan, his twin brother, you know what I'm saying? I give him a lot of flack for it. But I'm all with it. I was with Suburl moving up to go see you. I was with Gary Antoine moving up to go see Boots. But on the other end, I'm also like, hey, because remember, they loved, like when they thought that that Tank was going to go fight Conor Benn at 47, they loved it. They even went to the extent to say that Tank Davis ducked Conor Benn when the last time I checked, Conor Benn fight at 147. So that's what, if you listen to the, you know what I'm saying, if you listen to the big boys, man, they'll tell you, man, all day, every day, man, that Tank Davis ducked Conor Benn and missed out on a big bag, like one of the biggest bags he could have. Like, man, you listen to these guys, man, but that's what they putting out there. With the standards, so Tank at 35, they was cool with him going to 47, but you asked Devin to go to 47 and fight Boots, that's a cardinal sin. I'm just saying, shit, Boots, it's about time to where if you in the mess hall with your chest out, what you look like, because these guys are not taking these fights and trying to make history. That's what it's looking like. That's how it's playing out. The best move would make this chess move, go up there and get Bakhram, do that IBF, and make a statement that will end everything right there. It's just something to think about. It's just something to think about. They do have a tendency to wait people out. They have a tendency, oh no, we're not gonna do it. We starting to see it with Tank. People act like it ain't going on, but all of a sudden people ain't anxious to get in it. And they, you know, now they starting to talk stuff about the money and all this. I'm like, okay. So you catching the same flack Errol Spence caught from being in the same division for all that time. Right? You catching the same flack that Devin got for having gotten emailed the belt, even though Tim Tszyu got full credit, right? Some of these guys have Olympics or have undisputed or they have something. They are going to use everything. So you're going to catch the same kind of flack that Spence got, the same kind of flack that Devin got. You're catching the same kind of flack that Tank got. And they're going to base this on an accolade. They're going to base this on an accolade. Because remember, even if somebody like, because they say Tank never unified, so you're going to have to check that block at some point in time and unify for these folks, or they're going to say you didn't do anything. So even if like Tank had fought like a Baranchek or something, they say, oh no, that wouldn't count because he ain't nobody, even though that would technically count for unification. So if they doing that for Tank right now, who sell out wherever he go, got a higher knockout ratio than you, this is what you're going to be looking at, brother, when you take full reins of that stardom, if that's what's going to happen, and you're going to explode. They're going to use the legacy thing. It's just something to think about, man. It's something to think about, man. I was like, man, I was going to do this yesterday. It's something to think about. Because it is a movie, and it makes sense. It's playing chess. What's going on, y'all? What y'all think? Borderline absurd, or are we on to something? Are we being solution oriented? So people saying the Quran stands no chance, but then the way the article was, can he write his mistake? Like, what mistake? Like, what mistake? If you skunk a dude, now I do say that there were moments in time where, you know what I'm saying, Boots whiffed and stuff like that. But they worded it like he made a mistake and he skunked Quran. I do also say that some fans go overboard and say that Quran didn't have his moments where he touched Boots, because he did. He did. I went over the numbers right after the video. I said, oh man, the footwork, man, if he had any kind of power, I seen some things in there that would have showed some concern with somebody that might have been a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, whatever, like a little bit more committed and would have sat still for a second. What mistake did he make? What mistake did he make in the Quran fight? I mean, the whiffing and stuff, like the missing the punches and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, okay, yeah, cleaner, stronger, more dominant. But I don't know if this, because by conversation and videos and what people are really talking about, I don't know if the fight moved the needle. Told you how everybody talking about accolades. Now he worked back up to do the mandatory thing, which is honorable to go ahead and fight the mandatory, and how he put back in work to get back up there and all that. But like, you know, we in the era of public perception, and ACB always talking about that public perception, man. What's up, AC?
What's good, bro? Yeah, I always say, man, public perception is reality in this boxing age. And this is the one thing that where stranger things are more likely than not.
Go ahead and cook.
When I look at the situation with Boots, and I was a person who was following his career real tight. One of the biggest disappointments with me was how they moved you. You had the worst moving team I think that's possible, because you were there before Errol, but yet Errol wind up getting in car accidents, going through surgeries, and still somehow got 3 belts within a reasonable amount of time, and then had some fights in between there. Knocked off a mandatory or 2 in between there. So, and this is a guy that people will run around, yeah, but he only fights once a year or every whatever. But regardless, he's making moves. This is why the Errol Spence fandom was so dedicated to him, because he said, this is what I'm going to do, and then did it. And every step of the way didn't make you think, what is he doing now? Why would he do that? That doesn't make any sense to what he said he was going to do. He didn't give the fans not one bit of that. This is what I'm doing. This is who I'm fighting. This is all leading me up to getting all 3 of these straps, and then I'm going to go out here and I'm going to fight Terrence Crawford. Okay, cool. Now, when I look at another fighter who was there when Jeff Horn fought Manny Pacquiao, and Jeff Horn still had less fights than you, what was the issue of why you couldn't start to, poke the bears, so to say, listen, I'm a young, hungry motherfucker. Errol Spence did it. And what did Kell Brook tell him? Go get a belt. I thought that was the most pussiest thing I've ever heard Kell Brook say when he told Errol Spence to go get a belt. Until he fucked around and went up there and got his ass kicked by Triple G and said, yo, Errol, you want to fight it? I'll fight you now. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm just like, look, if Boots go up there and he knocks off Bakhram, okay, you're gonna make me, look at my watch and probably buy a ticket for the next time the Boots train passes through my hood, and I say, you know what, I might take it. I'm gonna take a short trip just to make sure you consistent in what you're doing, but I'll get on the bandwagon for that. I'll buy a ticket to get on the Boots train party train for that, because now you showing us, yeah, you saying what you saying and you doing what you doing. You the one thing I do appreciate about Boots and how he keeps everything relevant in it. They're masters of timing. They know when to make a statement and then move on from it.
Mm-hmm.
And then let the internet go crazy because they said something. And then say, we'll see how that pans out. Yeah, they behind us. They still behind us with that one. And I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I ain't got a problem with that. You feel what I'm saying? But give us the item. And if Eddie's not giving it to you, and Eddie's not willing to pay these prices for you to do what you say you want to do, and I'm quite sure you had this conversation with Eddie, you and your dad, like, yeah, I want to be undisputed in 4 divisions, break whatever records that anybody else is trying to attempt. I'm trying to do it in 4. Well, if I think you should have had at least 2 belts at least a year and a half ago. As soon as Bud and Errol was talking whatever they was talking, you feel what I'm saying? Granted, there was some missed opportunities and stuff like that. Nobody was taking you serious and things like that. Once those belts like left and they started, handing out those belts like it was Halloween candy, you should have deboed a couple of niggas like, nah, fuck that, nigga. That's my belt. I'm coming to see you. Then you would have had the whole boxing world turned up. Yeah, he done ran up on Barrios. He done ran up on Brian Norman. He done ran up on Stanionis, even though, Bud still ain't let those other belts go, but he let them niggas know. As soon as Bud let them belts go, I'm coming to fuck you up and take that belt. So you got 2 choices. I'm a Beanie Siegel your shit. Get down or lay down, nigga. It's the only thing you got. And people would have been like, whoa.
See, he got that silent assassin type personality. But Keyshawn, he kind of got that. Like Keyshawn kind of got that, where at least he'll make the moves and say and go that way. I don't know as far as how Boots is as a guy. I mean, definitely in the ring he do his thing.
Yeah.
But as far as the selling of it and
he's not the best at that.
The aggression of that and stuff like that, how to translate that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. That's the thing, and that's why I'm like, you've always had the talent, but it was just kicking in the fucking door, bro. You're not gonna hurt your foot. Just kick the fucking door in. Them shits is made out of paper, bro. Don't be afraid to kick the door. And even if your foot goes through and it's just your foot hanging through the other side and you struggling like some comedy movie to get your shit out, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that you did it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where they're a little bit more reserved in it, to where it's, no, we don't got to do shit like that. In this day and age, just the fuck you do, Bozy. Yes, you do.
Well,
because if you're not talking shit and your fight the frequency of how you fight took a dramatic dip since you got that belt, then that tells you something's wrong. Kicking some doors, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's almost like that's how they want you to be. That's almost like how they want you to be. They want you like when Blair do it. Man, what has he done? What did he got? But he don't even have no straps, so they use that, But he got the aggressive. He'll tell you, hey, let's fight. I'll be reasonable. I'll do this. But like with the way Boots is and the risk, and then the money, like we don't know, but it's just these guys are going to ask for King's ransom for it, and they could be doing some things like, man, that Philly stuff. He could be running the Philly steps with Rocky music. I be trying to write the script for him. Like he could get one of the hottest rappers out there. Like get Gilly on a remix. You know what I'm saying? Have him running the Philly steps, be all thing Philly. Like they could like drive. Like if he ain't gonna be out there like how Keyshawn is, which I don't know if it's good and bad. Like you know what I'm saying? Cause I don't know. It can be good and bad. But like in this era where you gotta sell and they know you a threat, unless you're just doing them numbers and just everywhere you go and people are just always asking and talking, it's like until you break that threshold, you gotta do something. Like you getting compared to Roy Jones. That's some Roy Jones shit, ain't it?
That's the point I'm making. It's like, bro, you being compared to so many legendary Hall of Fame fighters.
Floyd.
Right? And at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? To your most diehard fans, not the meat huggers, just to your diehard fans that say, listen, I'm still a fan of you, but I'm going to criticize the shit out of you for what you're doing. But I'm still a fan of yours, bro. We going to look at him and say, talk your shit. And we going to be the ones that's defending you. Like, bro, what do you want the man to do if he talks nice? He ain't getting a fight. The minute he talks shit, oh, what did Boots do? How he gonna come out his face and talk shit like that? Well, listen, it comes like this. If you're doing this strategically, like he's running his own race now. He's not chasing Crawford. He's saying, right, I'm gonna run my own race now. So run my own race. Stanley Ennis, what's up with your bitch ass? Brian Norman, yo, listen. After I get rid of this Karen Kukachin and listen, I really don't want to be saying this type of shit, knowing that I'm facing a tough fighter like Karen Kukachin. Listen, after I finish this dude off, I'm coming to beat your ass. And we're going to negotiate about that 2.2 mil. Because I know you need money for your hospital bills and after I kick your ass. And this Karen Kukachin and this Stanley Ennis dude, yeah, bro, listen, you've been around here a little bit too long, just hanging out on the side, run around in the shadows like you a fucking vampire or some shit. Come in the light, motherfucker. Come in the light so I could beat your ass. And then who else is over here? This Barrios? I'm not trying to be racist, but does 47 really need that whole Mexican versus or Latin versus black fighter? Listen, Barrios, I'm from Philly, motherfucker. We get down like that. So however you want to do it, we could do it. If you want to make that dynamic to sell a fight, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. I just want to get all three of you niggas in the ring, one right after the other, and then move the fuck on. Because y'all niggas is playing games. Whoa. Oh. Boots will have the whole entire internet lit the fuck up. Just make one 15-minute or one 5-minute video just saying what he really wants to say. Just say what you really want to say to these guys. Let them know, listen, I want to fight you. You don't need YSL in there coaching you. Oh, so Boots, after that, who's next? It's like, nah, we don't want to hear YSL on this one. We just want to hear you. Just tell us what you want to do. Because people can quote you in magazines, but I want to hear you say it.
That's cold, man. Hey, you got me, so I'm gonna have to clip that, man. Like, cause that shit had me sold. I'm like, man, talk that shit, Boots.
Yeah,
talk that shit.
That's what we want from the guy. We want you to talk this shit and then go out there and put hands on these people. Then we could say, yes. I at one point, I was talking to a Boots fan, like a horrible Boots fan, and I'm telling this dude, listen, if he wants the Crawford fight, these are the things that he could do to get the Crawford fight. Without talking crazy, just let your work speak for what you do. You feel what I'm saying? Just let your work speak for it. Boom, 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 boom. I guarantee you put Crawford in that position, bro, because you trapped him. He's not going to have nothing going on because he's just like you. Motherfuckers really don't want to fight him. So if it's what you want, it's available right there, bro. You just gotta put the effort in, and that's not something I suggest. My suggestion really is run your own race because you have an ability to have a certain level of greatness. You feel what I'm saying? Without people necessarily questioning what you did, because a lot of old school fighters will say, "What the fuck do you dudes mean? He got 30 something fights and he got his belt at his 31st or 30th fight." That's how a fighter's supposed to move. Supposed to have a bunch of looks before you step up to the championship. You know what I'm saying? So just because a guy's got 40 fights, look at the old school fighters. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 and something fights. And y'all niggas is bitching about it and trying to say he ain't did nothing in 30?
I was looking at Chop Chop resume, man. I've been trying to get him on. But I was looking at his resume, man, and I'm like, I could not believe how many people this man fought in his record, and he's still doing it, man, at 50, man. I'm like, so yeah, and you know, people, when it come to Boots, depending on how they're looking at it, they're gonna they'll use that, just like his age, like they'll kind of in his size and all that, they'll use that, you know. So
they'll say, well, Boots was only this when he went. Listen, he's a professional fighter. Don't tell me how old he is. He's a professional fighter. He's professional, bro. I don't give. Listen, if I saw an 11-year-old, if that was even possible, and this 11-year-old knocked out a 43-year-old, you gonna say something was wrong with that? Or you gonna clown the 43-year-old because he got knocked out by the little dude? Age is irrelevant. These guys are all professional fighters. I get where you want to move a fighter and, you know, bring them along what some people would say the proper way and things like that. But this day and age, man, it's social media, the internet, Instagram, Instacart. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lyft, Uber, everything happens like that in a moment. Listen, I want this, so let me pull up my app and order my pizza. I order my pizza right now. Now I just gotta wait for it to be delivered. I ordered my groceries. I just gotta wait for it to be delivered to my door. This is the laziness that people do. Have grown into, especially this new market that's within Boots' bracket. So you gotta move like your counterparts. You gotta move like your peers, bro. And if your peers are moving fast and doing things and blah blah blah, and I'm not talking about fighters in the ring, I'm just talking about life in general outside the ring. Everything is within an instant. Something happens on the news, it's plastered all over social media, YouTube news and everything else.
Yeah, I think you're on to something as far as running his own race, and maybe it'll be the Quran fight, the result of that, and maybe it will be what everybody's clamoring for with Virgil. It's just that when it comes to Golden Boy, anything over there, man, I have trust issues.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't. It might sound like I would be hating on that fight. It's just like, man, I would love for him to, if that's his race and he got Virgil in the crosshairs, because we wanted it. We wanted it when he was at 47. We wanted it for a long time, but we've seen Oscar and how they get down and how they play this game. They had the fans thinking that, because when you really look at it, they kind of let Ryan get off. They kind of let him. Ryan finally kind of started doing a little something. You know what I'm saying? And then he ramped it up and he jumped him. But when it came down to Virgil, it seemed like, yeah, he got some names. Yeah, got some names, but it seemed like he kind of got throttled a little bit when it came to what's big boy name? That one Gilberto.
Yeah.
When it came to Jaime, you know, like all of them guys, see, they didn't get the same Boots. You remember how they were? Like, remember how Gilberto Zerto Ramirez, I think he was like 32 and like shit. Fucking Jaime Munguia almost got 50 fights.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't get that. They don't get the same criticism and slander like that. They don't get the same for having all of them fights, and they just now kind of just broke into their own. They
Yeah.
got Boots in a pressure cooker. And so if this is running his race and he has Virgil in his crosshairs, it's like, cool, I'm with it. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't trust, until I see it and this sign sealed and delivered, I don't trust anything with like contingent upon Golden Boy and them saying, all right, it's done. Until I hear that, until it's like breaking news and it's out there where it's signed, sealed, delivered, guaranteed. I don't trust it, bro.
Yeah, like for me, you tell me you're gonna have Virgil first, and then Bakhram next. I have no issue with that. Those are two tough ass fights for you, back to back. Nobody's gonna question your intent, your heart, or nothing. If you say, all right, I'm gonna leave 47 alone and I'm gonna go up to 54. You feel what I'm saying? I'll knock off Virgil. So where they try to say you ain't fought nobody, I just beat the shit out of Virgil. And Virgil tried to call me out at 47. Then when we spun the block on Virgil, De La Hoya said he wasn't quite ready. And then Virgil bounces to 54.
That's it, man. Yep. You hit it. You. That's it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I just think that Boots gotta finish business with Quran.
Yep.
That wouldn't be bad to go from Quran to Virgil to Bakhram, man.
Yes.
That's lit. Like now you know what I'm saying? Now you on that trajectory.
Yes, sir.
Right. And the only reason I want to clarify this, because I know people are gonna be like, oh, they're gonna see the title. They're gonna be like, oh, look at him, man. They wanna, because I was the one saying go ahead and undispute. I was saying, man, go ahead and get D block, man. Don't listen to him. Lock it up. I'm starting to see that that's too hard the way the game is right now, and these people ain't in no rush to take no L, and they especially get with what the potential could happen. They not willing to do that without no real bag, right?
Yes.
So this is the only reason why I'm actually doing this, is because he's saying he's going to entertain Virgil. Okay, if you're going to do that and you're going to put your eggs in that Oscar De La Hoya basket, please have a contingency. And I think that the best contingency plan you can have is this. Because it's a movie, and this is the way you can do it where it all makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Make it clean, neat, you know what I'm saying? Boom, and history will be made.
Yep. Something that's not messy. It's easy to digest. It tastes good. You can have that shit with chocolate milk, your Yoo-hoo, a pack of ho-hos, whatever the fuck you want, bro. But it works. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It gives us exactly what we've been asking for from you to say, yes, Boots, now you got our message loud and clear. Fuck a Terrence Crawford. Run your race. Be the great fighter you want to be. Don't run your race, chase this nigga Bud, and then you wind up like a Blair Cobb or Demetrius Andrade.
Or Maul, like when he was
or Maul
in the
and
Canelo sweepstakes up until,
yeah, and Maul is another sad situation. It's like, bro, you had everything. 60 shouldn't have been where you stopped. You should have went to 68 and then really did your thing. Cause you would still be relevant and still fighting if you was at 68. All the stuff, all the family stuff, I don't know. I'm not there with you, and I'm happy that you got through most of it, but I don't think it would have affected you like that because you would have been too busy training, going to camps and stuff like that. Boom, 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 and your little bit of off time. It's listen, I just want to focus on my kids. You know what I'm saying? If this is what you want to do, fine, go do it. But I just want to focus on my kids and my career. And right now, I'm in a good place. I'm at a weight division where there's steady competition, you know, around there for me. Just imagine Maul versus David Benavidez at 68. when Benavidez was there.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
You feel what I'm saying? That those were the fights that we would have been like, oh my God, I can't believe we're about to see this. Roberto Duran versus you feel what I'm saying on some shit like that. So at the end of the day, bro, I'm gonna land my plane right there, bro. I just wanted to pop up and chop it up with you real fast because I know you like to keep these type of sessions short and everything. Just chopped it up with you, and I just wanted to say my piece. I just hope Boots gets it together, figures out what lane he's going to take, because both of them are your lanes. You just got to figure out which one you're going to take. And if it's at 47, get more active. Get more active, get more vocal. And believe me, you'll have the support of everybody, because look at how everybody already talks about you.
Yeah. Great points, man. Run your race. He's saying run your race, Boots. You know what I'm saying? Pick your lane, run your race. You know what I'm saying? That's, hey, you brought up some very valid points as usual, man.
Yeah,
drop
sure.
bars, man.
For sure. All right,
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, for sure. On the next one, buddy. I'm still in the audience, though.
All right, man. That was a good little session for today. I just really wanted to speak my piece, say my piece on the whole thing when it comes down to Boots and how, man, I seen it happen, man. I seen what's going on, and I see when I gather everything, like if for the people that's gonna hide behind stuff and not really give you that push that you need. For all the things combined, they're racking up all of the criticisms and things that they hold against certain fighters, you know what I'm saying? And the accolade game, the standards, you know, the goalposts that they're moving. And for a talent like Boots, they're going to keep them moving, man. So I agree with AC that he need to run his race. It's just in that race, man. I think that Bakhram move, man. I think that's the move, Boots. I think that's the move, Boots. That's the way, man. I wanted to put something out there and say, hey, man, I'm hoping that's the move, man. Why? Because the script is already there. The script is already there. The why is already there. The how is already there. And in all of that, the legacy is already there. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, wearing suit of snow, you just going up there and fighting a man. You just challenging and saying, let's do that. You know what I'm saying? Since I say I'm gonna be 47, 54, 60, and 68. That's small things to a giant. Since we want to entertain Virgil, like I said, I have kind of like some trust issues when it come down to Golden Boy and fights like that. That's why I'm like, I'm not sure about Shakur and Zepeda. I'm not sure. Everybody believe that that's what's going on, and they bring Turkey Sheik in and all that, but like I don't know. I'm not gonna claim that I know. I know everything I've come across says, oh well, it's gonna take a middleman and some other stuff because these people are not signed with those people. That's cross promotion. You know what I'm saying? Like cross promotion is one of the hardest fights to make. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the easiest excuses to use. for us not to get the big fights. So I'm saying run your race, but you got to consider that Bakhram play, because that would submit you, Boots. That we wouldn't be able to say anything. I mean, it's hard. They got to be reaching right now to try to say anything, but it's more about the history. You know what I'm saying? It's more about the history. Because I know at one point in time, I think this was like 2 years ago, Bozy was like, man, like 16 people said no. I'm like, y'all found 16 people, professional boxers in the sport? And that was like, I think that was like right after or around the time when Keith Thurman said he didn't even know who he was. This is about 2 years ago. It's on wax. Keith Thurman said he didn't know. I said, oh man, if Keith Thurman one time would say he didn't know who you was at that point in time, I said, man, Boots must be a problem. It's just that, like me, I try to keep the same energy when you always had the height, the reach, the size, the footwork, the speed, agility, the box knock. When you got all those advantages, if you have them all, I can't gauge who you are. And that's the same standard I use for everybody. Shakur, Devin, Tank, all of them. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to advantages, disadvantages, I look at it with all of them. That was my only question mark. Now I'm like, man, shoot, you can't really say nothing when you go up to 54. When you go up to 54, because like that example I gave earlier about that guy who said that Boo Boo ain't nothing, Wilder ain't nothing, and that Lomachenko is everything. He said that Lomachenko was always undersized, always at a disadvantage. I'm like, I ain't no genius, but if you look at the height and the size, Lomachenko is like 5'7", 5'8". Tank like 5'4", 5'5". I don't know, man. The standards and these goalposts and all that stuff be moving. But I'm like, man, if they giving people like Tank, if Tank ain't got no accolade or he ain't did nothing and he ain't shit, if what Earl did by going to collect 3 straps, he ain't did nothing and he ain't shit. If Jermell Charlo, who undisputed the division, jumped up for arguably the greatest fighter ever in Canelo Alvarez and lost, if he ain't shit, if Boots got a belt and everybody harp on the fact that Bud got stripped for it, just like Jermell Charlo got stripped for his belt, the belt that Bakhram got, the belt that Tim Tszyu, like when he got stripped, he got stripped. Nobody beat them belts off of him. They say he ain't nothing. I'm just saying, I've been looking at it like a chess game, and when people pick and choose, and you got enough people saying these things, that's the problem. Because the guy who said that those guys ain't nothing, it ain't no problem that he have his opinion. The problem is that like 40,000 people saw it. So a lot of people out there saying, oh man, these guys ain't nothing. Like these guys' careers ain't anything. Like even the Olympics, the bronze bomb, like being an Olympian, that wasn't nothing. So my thing is, man, they playing this accolade game, man, and for a high risk guy, I can't say low reward because we don't really truly know the numbers. You know what I'm saying? We think we might know or be able to find what's out there, but we don't really know. So you gotta start thinking about that chessboard and look at some of the people like AC said, like Demetrius Andre, like Jermall Charlo. David Benavidez finally got hip and said, listen, I'm gonna go do my thing and I'm gonna carve out my own path. And then look, he about to dance with David Morrell. That might be the dance partner that he needed all of this time. And boom, we're gonna see what happened with both of them guys. But that's what, as far as legacy and stuff like that, moving up and stamping that for all of for the high knockout ratio, for the history of Philly, how rich the history is, Bernard Hopkins, Danny, all them guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would make sense, man, to make this chess move. Ultimately, hope the Virgil fight gets done. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I like to wait and see, man. I like to wait and see. That's a great fight. That's a great fight. And it would answer a lot of questions that people have been wanting for years. But it looked like that 47 thing, man, it looked like it might be a little bit, especially from the way people talking, man. From the way people talking, man, it don't seem like they too anxious to unify them belts. And I don't want Boots to stay down there and get that same Spence criticism. Oh, you've been in the division way too long. Yeah, they saying it. That's on a regular basis. And if you're gonna move up, you might as well play chess with it. That's just my thoughts. You know, that's fruits and veggies. Not that Reggie, that fact-based content. You know what I'm talking about? Well, I appreciate everybody who stopped by, man. If you listening to this on the playback, holler at me, I'll talk back. You have any ideas? Need any help with any projects? Holler at me. Holler at me. I'm working on some things. I'm trying to get somebody on, man. There's a couple guys I've been talking to, trying to get them on or whatever. They busy, got lives, trying to coordinate everything, man. But get some of these interviews on deck, man. So behind the scenes, I'll be reaching out, doing what I need to do, taking my steps to grow this joint. And I appreciate everybody who take time to watch it, even if you don't agree. You know, even if it's just an alternative, it's something you putting in your rucksack and marching on with. I appreciate you. I ask that you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. You know what I'm saying? And you know how to reach me if you need to. Thanks for tuning in here at Bodywork Boxing. But we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga? Right? Oh, okay. You want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.